Welcome one and all to the Darcblade Safari, where we take a look at the creatures that roam the lands of Monster Hunter World. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the poison bird wyvern known as Pukei Pukei, also referred to as the googly-eyed chameleon or Pukei Pukei, found in both the depths of the ancient forest and the lush vegetation areas of the Wildspire Waste. Hunters will often come across Pukei Pukei marking its territory, as well as searching for what it likes most, nuts and berries, namely scatter nuts. With these nuts, Pukei Pukei will store them in its mouth or tail for later consumption or to use as a defense mechanism. As well as its squirrel-inspired diet, Pukei Pukei will often drink the poison out of the poison cups in the area. Pukei Pukei must have developed an iron stomach to tolerate the toxins. If only social media could harness the power of Pukei Pukei to handle toxic content. Other than that, Pukei Pukei just seems to be fond of long walks on the beach during the sunset, often finding places to just sit and take in the view of the countryside. This could be down to 3 reasons: it's bored, artistic, or just dumb. The Pukei Pukei is an odd looking creature. Some find it fascinating, while others creepy. Regardless, it resembles a chameleon combined with frog-like features, topped off with a set of wings and a sprinkling of feathers. While initially Pukei Pukei is a vibrant green, when it enrages, its feathers will flush red, and when exhausted, the features will lose their vibrant green colour and his eyes will become narrow. While Pukei Pukei is capable of flight, it tends to prefer to wander on foot, instead relying on flight only when travelling longer distances quickly or when retreating. Pukei Pukei is a bit of a dick when it comes to smaller monsters, often bullying them and threatening to take their lunch money. However, just like your old friend who starts fights and then runs away for you to finish, Pukei Pukei will often retreat from the cooler, stronger monsters out there. When it comes to attacks, Pukei Pukei has a few tricks up its sleeve. Its normal attacks involve swipes with its tail, charging headlong into hunters, and jumping into the air to slash at foes with its talons. Pukei Pukei will also try to use its long tongue against foes as it tries to get to first base. Pukei Pukei also has a decent set of lungs on it. When it roars at hunters, unless they're wearing their headphones, it will stun them, giving them earache. However, when things get serious, it will make use of the toxins stored in its body to spit at foes. If a hunter is unlucky enough to get hit by the phlegm, they will become poisoned. On top of that, if the Pukei Pukei has recently fed on scatternuts, then it can modify its poison to cause an added stun effect to it. During combat, sometimes Pukei Pukei will run off to wherever the closest nuts are, and like I said, it will store them in its mouth, indicated by his chin becoming a little bit larger, or it will store them in its tail, which will then puff up. Once stored in its tail, it can release a massive poison gas cloud, which can only be described as an epic fart. Pukei Pukei will also make use of spore puffs, running up to them, consuming them, which will then allow the Pukei Pukei to unleash a bad breath poison gas cloud that stays in the area for quite some time. Anyone who moves into the gas cloud will be poisoned. When it comes to dealing damage to Pukei Pukei, hunters should aim for the head, as it has a 3-star weakness to all types of damage. Failing that, hunters should strive to go for the wings or tail, as they are rated 2 stars. All of these locations on Pukei Pukei can also be broken too, with the tail being a severable body part. You can also break the spine of Pukei Pukei, but this isn't as weak as the tail, wings or head. This can all help increase your chances of specific loot. As for elemental damage, Pukei Pukei comes with a 3-star weakness to thunder attacks, with a 2-star rating for fire and ice, and finally a 1-star rating to dragon. While lastly, much like water off a duck's back, the water element has a big fat X rating against Pukei Pukei. When it comes to ailments, hunters should strive to make use of sleeping drugs or paralysis weapons, as these have 3-star ratings. Blast and stun effects have a 2-star rating, and poison only has 1, to show Pukei Pukei's obvious resistance to it. When it comes to loot, the Pukei Pukei sack and bird wyvern gems are the rarest. Going for the monster's head can increase your chances of the sack, should you be able to break it, whilst unfortunately the bird wyvern gem is down to pure luck. During a fight, Pukei Pukei will often fly up to get scatternuts. A sly hunter can use this to their advantage by using their slinger to shoot the scatternuts, which will then dislodge, hitting Pukei Pukei in the head, stunning it and causing it to hilariously fall back down to the ground. Now for hunters out there, if you're going for large or small gold crowns, the size for the large gold crown is 1,344 and the small gold crown is 970. Overall, Pukei Pukei poses a little bit more of a threat than other monsters we've already covered, but that's not saying much. Its attack patterns do have some reach to them, and their poison attacks can leave hunters taking constant damage over time until it fades naturally or is manually cured. So when taking on Pukei Pukei and getting in close, remember to say no to tongues and to bring some antibiotics with you. Anyway, I hope you found this guide useful or entertaining, and until next time, I've been your guide Darcblade, bringing you a safari guide to the Pukei Pukei in Monster Hunter World. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.